So we were doing our routine monitoring, our ecology monitoring in the bay, in Todos Santos Bay, and I was doing some dolphin recording the sounds, whistling and echolocation. And there's plenty of sounds like large groups of dolphins. And suddenly I heard and I could record just this loud noise, sounding as this explosion, like poof. And afterwards there was only silence. And yeah, it was the first time we had this sound. Then I was very curious about that. Then we came back to the lab and I was trying to study it waveform and compare with other studies, and we could match with explosion from blast fishing.
Blast fishing, a highly destructive and illegal type of fishing, where explosives are literally thrown into the water, causing anything and everything once living to float up dead to the surface, making the fisherman's job of catching fish fairly easy.
So after sound collection in the field, we come back to the lab and we do acoustic analysis and using some softwares. And one of the most common graphics is this graphic called spectrogram. So with spectrogram, we can visualize the sound in the axis of frequency and time. So, for example, is for dolphin sounds, dolphin whistles. And with this graph, we can take acoustic measurements and identify each species sounds. Mm-hmm. So, and with this graph, you can see like the whistles are very short in duration and they're high in frequency. And once we know about the biological sounds, that's a baseline to acoustic, how sound integrates in the acoustic environment. So we just start with biological sounds, then we'll look for any of the anthropogenic noise source.
Got it, okay.
Through my research, I recorded dolphin sounds in the field and I put them on spectrograms to visualize their sound. So now you know what is a spectrogram, so it's the same graph. We just look at dolphin sounds. And now, as I told you, I was recording dolphins in nature, and then here you can see a whistle, and then suddenly we just heard this very loud noise as an explosion. Purr. So that's part of the graph.
Wow,
so
yeah.
Let's listen to it.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
It's pretty loud, huh?
Yeah.
So tomorrow morning, we're going to venture into one of the fishermen's villages here in the river. We want to attempt to gain more information on the highly illegal blast fishing practices which are still being conducted in this bay. We're also going to investigate whether or not these practices have a negative effect on the Guiana dolphin senses, since they are highly dependent on their hearing.
Todos os dias, não tem exceção. Agora de manhã cedo mesmo foi várias. Ali, eles gostam a bomba ali. E na cara dura. Quantos peixes morrem? Se a gente for agora, se você pegar, poder pra jogar, a mulher joga aí pra pegar um siri, leva um dia todo pra pegar e não consegue pegar porque a bomba não deixa. Não deixa.
Não sobra nada.
Não sobra nada. Mas aí, como é aí, eles são do mar, eles aí que pescam aí, que vivem no mar, que vai pescar hoje, chega lá, joga a rede e não encontra nada. A devido aí das bombas, é muita bomba. Não são poucas não. É muitas bombas mesmo. Os golfinhos não tem como se comunicar mais. Lá eles podem ter lá na barra para fora, para lá, porque eles não vão ver bomba ali. Uhum. Ali tem mais como se comunicar, eles ficam alegres. Você vê eles alegres. Você vê igual a gente sorrindo, né? Eles estão alegres. Eles ficam alegres lá, porque lá não tem. A gente precisa disso aqui. Da comunidade, trabalhar todo mundo unido para ver o que a gente pode fazer. Só não pode continuar assim.
Visiting the village in the Paraguaçu River really gave us insight into how significant the blast fishing problem really is. The local fishermen mentioned that you could see the dolphins right off the port of the village not more than 20 years ago. but nowadays they're virtually never seen there. They also mentioned that many of the fishermen still conduct blast fishing on a daily basis, and although this is highly legal on paper, there's a lack of reinforcement, so they do it anyways.
While sailing out of the river, we spotted some more Guiana dolphins. At first, they were extremely active, but suddenly, a loud, fast speedboat zoomed past us, and right there and then, the dolphins dove down and disappeared. With an ever-increasing growth in human population around the Todos to Santos Bay, the effects of noise pollution definitely have no end in sight. Boats are getting faster, louder, and as we have heard from the locals, blast fishing isn't going out of style anytime soon. With the Guiana dolphin seeking refuge in this concentrated area of the bay, many questions on the future of the species are arising during our sailing expedition.
Next episode, we will attempt to answer these tough questions on how to protect the future of the Guiana dolphin.